Greetings all, and welcome to the 30th episode of TM Technical Movement. For today, we will be taking a look at the Grassy Glide, Solar Beam, Solar Blade, Chloroblast, Energy Ball, Seed Flare, and Frenzy Plant attacks, and the Synthesis, Aromatherapy, and Grass Whistle techniques.
Much as the name suggests, the Grassy Glide attack involves user generating a strip of slippery grass, which they then use to blast forward and impact the opposition forcefully. The Grassy Glide attack is a rare move that is generally only acquired by Pokémon through interactions with special move tuners available in select places across the globe, as well as other artificial means. The attack itself is pretty basic in its execution, but it is noted right away that it is almost exclusive to grass types entirely, with only a small number of exceptions. In performing this move, the user utilizes his natural powers to generate a strip of grass which is overly hydrated and moist with dew to make it slippery, before sliding across the grass and impacting the opponent forcefully to deal damage. The attack itself is fairly straightforward and doesn't have a lot of special features, but it does have one noble thing going for it. While this attack does require a bit of preparation time for the user, despite being executed quickly enough to still retain a normally perfect accuracy rate, if there is a grassy terrain present on the battlefield already, then there is no wind-up time required for the move, as the grass that needs to be generated for the work is already present, and the attack can be used almost instantly, granting it increased priority and making it so the attack will strike before almost all other moves when used. This can make the attack a potent quick strike for grass types while the terrain is present, and in turn makes even bulkier slow-moving grass types a serious threat to worry about in close quarters. This attribute in turn might explain why it was converted into TM-194 for Pacific Coast's 9th generation line of TMs. Since the Grassy Glide attack involves a full-body charge, it is fairly difficult to counter the attack with physical force alone, which is made only worse by the fact that the attack is also extremely difficult to dodge in close quarters. Strong metallic armor can help reduce the damage dealt by the attack, but weaker metallic armor is unlikely to perform as well, and rocky armor in general is likely to take exceptional damage from it in most situations. The Grassy Glide attack might not offer much in the way of extra features to make it much of a tactical threat in all cases, but if the grassy terrain is present on the move's favor, it can become a priority move that can seriously prove to be a threat that only strong armor can probably defend against, and would likely require a move or ability of some sort to change or eliminate the terrain in order to mitigate the only major attribute that helps the attack stand out from its priority base attack peers, not including its generally high base power. As the name would suggest, the Solar Beam attack involves absorbing light energy and then firing out as a concentrated blast of energy. Many grass-type Pokémon, as well as a handful of other rare cases, eventually gain the ability to utilize light from the sun to deliver a devastating blast of energy relatively late in life. While it may be fueled by pure solar energy, the fact that the move is dominantly known by grass types, can bypass rocky armor, and is too low temperature to affect a burn, grants it the same properties as a grass-type attack. The Solar Beam attack itself consists of two phases. During the first phase, the user gathers up energy into its body and begins isolating it into a single spot, concentrating it into a semi-stable cohesive form within its body. The second phase then involves releasing this bundled up energy in the form of a devastating beam of pure solar energy. Despite the amount of wind-up needed to prepare the attack, the Solar Beam attack is exceptionally powerful and is capable of inflicting a large amount of damage against all types of opponents with little prejudice, and is further helped in that it is affected by items like King's Rocks. However, it should be noted the actual mechanics of the Solar Beam attack are heavily dependent upon the weather in an area. If it is raining, hailing, snowing, or if there's a sandstorm present, only half as much light will be drawn in during the move's initial phase, and consequently, the attack will only do half as much damage as normal. If the weather is bright and sunny, however, there will be no initial phase required, and the Solar Beam attack can be readily and executed almost immediately in battle. For trainers that enjoy using Pokémon with abilities that activate in sunny weather, this can make the offenses only more devastating and difficult to overcome in practice. It was these unique traits that spurred Silphco to release the move as TM22 within their first generation line of TMs, from which it gained a tremendous and ever-present popularity that has allowed the move to maintain its status within all successive generations of TMs and the recent Sinnoh Special Edition set, even as it was changed to TM11 in the 8th generation line and TM168 in the 9th generation line. Because of its reliance on pure solar energy to inflict damage, there is no way to directly counter or dodge the Solar Beam attack without altering the weather to something disadvantageous. Strong metallic armor can help reduce the damage dealt by the attack, but weaker metallic armor is unlikely to perform as well, and rocky armor in general is likely to take exceptional damage from it in most situations. The Solar Beam attack is likely to be a common, effectively abused move in battle because the sheer amount of damage it does at the cost of little stamina and time if the weather is sunny, so strong defenses as well as adverse weather conditions are highly recommended for reducing the attack's overall impact in battle. Not too dissimilar from the Solar Beam attack, the Solar Blade attack involves absorbing light energy and then using it to generate a massive blade of solar energy to inflict damage with. While some grass-type Pokémon are able to learn the Solar Beam attack very late in life, past the normal point of evolution, a select number are also able to use the same mechanics of the attack to deliver a physical blow that takes the very power of the sun and utilizes it to split the opponent in two. The Solar Blade attack itself consists of two phases. During the first phase, the user gathers up energy into its body and begins isolating it into a single spot, concentrating it into a semi-stable, cohesive form within the tip of its front limbs. The second phase then involves releasing this bundled up energy in the form of a massive beam sword before slamming it down upon the opponent at full force. Despite the amount of wind-up needed to prepare the attack, the Solar Blade attack is also exceptionally powerful, even slightly more so than the Solar Beam attack, and is able to inflict a large amount of damage against all types of opponents with little prejudice. However, it should be noted the actual mechanics of the Solar Blade attack are heavily dependent upon the weather in an area, because if the weather is bright and sunny, there will be no initial phase required and the Solar Blade attack can be ready and executed almost immediately in battle, but if there is rain, hail, snow, or even a sandstorm, its power will be cut in half. For trainers that enjoy using Pokémon abilities to activate in sunny weather, this can make the offensive Lorantis and other Pokémon that can learn the attack much more devastating and difficult to overcome in practice, and in general can give physically minded fighters a powerful physical weapon to work with, which might explain why it was converted into TM12 and Silph 8th generation line of TMs and TRs, and then into TM190 and the 9th generation line of TMs. Because of its reliance on pure solar energy to inflict damage, there is no way to directly counter or dodge the Solar Blade attack without altering the weather into something disadvantageous. Strong metallic armor can help reduce and negate the damage dealt by the attack, but weaker metallic armor is unlikely to perform as well, and rocky armor in general is likely to take exceptional damage from it in most situations. The Solar Blade attack is a rare enough move that it probably won't be a serious threat to most trainers, but if an opponent has access to a Pokémon with this move, only strong defenses might be capable of keeping the attack from inflicting nasty physical damage against one's Pokémon. Considered to be the signature attack of a Hisuian Electrode, the Chloroblast attack involves usually taking all of its energized chlorophyll in its body and launching it outwards as a beam of pure natural energy. While the plant-based biology might make Hisuian Electrode seemingly perfect for a litany of grass-type offenses, their access to this sort of power is actually rather limited, and they cannot always take full advantage of it in normal ways. They more than make up for this, however, with their access to this unique and powerful attack. In essence, the chlorophyll in the bodies of these creatures is more efficient than normal when it comes to producing energy from photosynthesis, and they can effectively work like miniature batteries that can store vast amounts of energy in them for long periods of time. In executing the Chloroblast attack, Hisuian Electrode gathers as much energy as they can from their chlorophyll, and then launch them and the energy inside of them at opponents in the form of a massive concentrated beam of natural energy. While it takes a bit of time for the move to charge up, and thus makes it possible to potentially dodge it, the wind-up time is otherwise very short and can deal devastating damage when it hits the target, but it does come at a serious cost. Because they are essentially weaponizing their own internal energy reserves to use this attack, the move is extremely taxing on the overall health of the user, and will result in Hisuian Electrode taking recoil damage equal to about 50% of the maximum HP rounded up. Despite this, the attack is not affected by weather in any way, so it can deal the same sort of damage seen in a move like Solar Beam or Solar Blade without having to worry about weather, and in turn can help Hisuian Electrode more than make up most of their grass-type attributes offensively. Because of its reliance on pure natural energy to inflict damage, there is no way to directly counter the Chloroblast attack, though exceptionally agile Pokémon can still dodge the attack with enough room. Strong metallic armor can help reduce and negate the damage dealt by the attack, but weaker metallic armor is unlikely to perform as well, and rocky armor in general is likely to take exceptional damage from it in most situations. The Chloroblast attack is a rare enough move that it's unlikely to be a serious threat for most trainers to worry about, but if put up against a Hisuian Electrode with access to this move, strong defenses are highly recommended for at least taking the first blow, as the move's incredible damage capabilities can still leave the opponent wary and open to a swift counterattack, especially with their energy reserves severely depleted from recoil. In effect, the Energy Ball attack involves user generating a ball of pure energy derived from its natural surroundings before firing it forcefully at an opponent. The Energy Ball attack is definitively named so because out of all energy-based attacks, it is considered to be perhaps the most purest in its construction and is rightfully named for what it truly is. As such, the Energy Ball is merely a ball of pure natural energy gathered and derived from the user's natural surroundings, which is then fired at an opponent to inflict damage. Despite its pure and simple construction, the Energy Ball attack is classified as a grass-type attack, not only for its ability to devastate rocky armor and deal damage in much the same way as other grass-type attacks, but also by the fact that only grass types can actually utilize it, with the exception of the members of the Swirlix family. In addition to dealing moderately high damage, the Energy Ball attack actually has a chance of disrupting the opponent's internal energy fields, and in turn the resistance against special damage, and thus can lower their special defense stat about 10% of the time, making it the perfect move to start off a special attack onslaught with. It was these factors that led Silph to release the move as TM53 within the 4th through 7th generation line of TMs and recent Sinnoh Special Edition set, as well as TR65 for the first line of TRs and TM119 for the 9th generation line of TMs, from which it has gained an enormous amount of popularity among special attack specialists everywhere. Since it is purely an energy-based attack, there is no way to directly counter or dodge the Energy Ball attack. Strong metallic armor can help reduce and negate the damage dealt by the attack, but weaker metallic armor is unlikely to perform as well, and rocky armor in general is likely to take exceptional damage from it in most situations. The Energy Ball attack is certainly a common move to see among professional trainers of all types, and can prove to be an effective bread-and-butter move for opponents to rely on in any situation. As such, strong defense is recommended above all other options to handle the attack and reduce its effectiveness as much as possible. Considered to be the signature attack of Shaman, the Seed Flare attack involves users sucking in toxins within the air and converting them into harmless water vapor and other chemicals before releasing the excess energy gained from the breakdown as a powerful shockwave. The Seed Flare attack comes as a direct result of a Shaman's ability to naturally absorb toxins in the air and from plant life around them, and convert them into harmless water vapor and other perfectly safe chemicals. In the process of breaking these chemicals down into simpler components, however, Shaman generate a ton of excess energy from the numerous chemical bonds being broken and reformed. This net energy is then expelled outward forcefully, generating a powerful explosion that, while taking some time to be released, deals significant grass-type damage to anything that manages to be too close to Shaman when it is activated. Although the uncontrollable nature of the attack makes its chance of actually dealing damage less than perfect, the sudden influx of energy on a target more often than not causes massive disruptions within the target's internal energy fields that damages their ability to resist special damage, and thus sharply decreases their special defense stat about twice as much as normal, around 40% of the time. It may not be a move likely to see without a Shaman present, but even so, the Seed Flare attack is a powerful strike that could easily make even the most defensive opponents feel that much less safe about their performance in battle, especially since it's affected by items like King's Rocks. Due to its unique attributes, there is no way to directly counter the Seed Flare attack. As long as the target isn't extremely close to the user, however, fairly agile Pokémon should still be able to dodge the attack. Strong metallic armor can help reduce negate the damage dealt by the attack, but weaker metallic armor is unlikely to perform as well, and rocky armor in general is likely to take exceptional damage from it in most situations. The Seed Flare attack is an unlikely move to see outside of Shaman, but when it is accessible to the opposition, it is a powerful strike that should be countered with strong defenses and other ways to avoid it at all costs by simply remaining as far away from an opponent's Shaman as possible. In essence, the Frenzy Plant attack involves users summoning and striking the opponent with massive spiked roots in order to inflict damage. Many grass-type Pokémon have learned to harness their natural plant-based abilities to utilize attacks and techniques that are specifically designed to take advantage of their bodies in ways that other Pokémon cannot. The Frenzy Plant attack is an excellent example of this. The Frenzy Plant attack is a rare move that is so far confirmed to be non-existent among wild Pokémon, and is only learnable by certain move tutors and through other artificial means scattered around the world. Even then, the move requires a tremendous amount of personal responsibility to control that only fully evolved starter Pokémon with a strong connection to the trainer are usually allowed to learn, though recent efforts have proved that Simisates and Silvally are also able to learn the move under the same conditions as well. The Frenzy Plant attack essentially involves user using its plant-based powers to create from its body enormous spiked roots, which then snake up and through the ground repeatedly until coming across a target and striking them with both exceptional bludgeoning and piercing force. The mass of amalgamated roots quickly withers and dies off after the attack is used, but for any beast unlucky enough to get in their path, these roots will quickly reduce them to shreds of their former self and smash through hidden armor in an instant. Despite the critical amount of damage the attack is able to actually inflict, the move requires a significant amount of time to charge up, and is thus less than accurate, but more importantly, it takes a tremendous toll on the user and forces it to recharge its energy for at least one combat turn before being able to attack again. This can make the attack difficult to pull off properly without fear of retribution in some cases, even though the move is affected by items like King's Rocks, but considering how much sheer damage the attack is actually able to inflict, it's unlikely that anything that gets hit by it directly is going to survive for very long, if at all afterwards, which might explain why it was installed as TM-155 and Silph Co's 9th generation line of TMs. Although an extremely intense burst of fire can potentially destroy many of the roots used in the Frenzy Plant attack before they reach their target, the chances of it completely destroying the attack are very slim. Thankfully, moderately agile Pokémon should still be able to dodge the attack with enough room. Strong metallic armor can help reduce and negate the damage dealt by the attack, but weaker metallic armor is unlikely to perform as well, and rocky armor in general is likely to take exceptional damage from it in most situations. The Frenzy Plant attack is the most powerful grass-type move available in battle, but because of its unique characteristics, it will be nearly impossible to see outside of a fully evolved grass-type starter Pokémon. When it is available, however, only evasive tactics of the highest grade and the strongest of defenses will be able to prevent it from inflicting catastrophic damage on anything it manages to hit. Much as the name might suggest, the synthesis technique involves utilizing the light of the sun to restore the user's energy via rapid photosynthesis. As a direct result of the need to photosynthesize to generate sugars and fuel their bodies, many plant-based Pokémon have naturally gained the ability to really intensify the normal active photosynthesis into a powerful recovery technique in the midst of battle. As such, the synthesis technique is effectively little more than photosynthesis that is put into overdrive for a short period of time in order to produce food and energy that can help heal any wounds from battle at the expense of a considerable amount of stamina. However, because it relies on photosynthesis, the actual effectiveness of the synthesis technique is heavily dependent upon how brightly the sun is shining. Under normal conditions, the synthesis technique will restore 50% of the user's maximum HP. Under sunny conditions, however, the move will restore about 2/3 the user's maximum HP, and conversely, the move will only restore 25% of the user's maximum HP under any other abnormal weather condition. This can make the technique more than temperamental in some cases, but for grass types that have little else to return to, this move can effectively keep them going against even the most powerful of opponents. Unless recovery techniques are somehow blocked, there's no direct way to counter the effects of the synthesis technique due to its unique attributes, though generating a normal weather condition aside from bright sunlight can at least help reduce its overall effectiveness in battle. In essence, the aromatherapy technique involves user generating a sweet-smelling, brilliant fragrance that rejuvenates all that smell it and helps heal any stable status conditions they may have. The aromatherapy technique works very similarly to the heal belt technique, in that it is designed to appease to the target's senses and help their bodies overcome and eventually eliminate any negative stable status conditions they might have. The only real difference is that this is done through the sense of smell and not hearing. As such, the aromatherapy technique is nothing more than a vibrant, sweet-smelling fragrance generated through either pollen or spores that effectively wafts over the user and all allies and helps them rejuvenate their bodies and cure any negative conditions they might be under through biological and psychological reactions, helping both body and mind to relax and restore both to a full and effective state. It might not be very fancy or have much to it, but considering this move can essentially eliminate all of the hard work the opponent might have put into negatively affecting an entire team, this move can seriously wreck with status-oriented strategists and help otherwise weaker teams keep a leg up at the competition with ease. Unless a strong gust of wind can be used to blow away the alluring scent, there is no way to directly counter the effects of the aromatherapy technique. As it is observed in and out of battle, the grass whistle technique involves playing a relaxing melody to the opposition with a leaf or blade of grass in an attempt to relax them to the point where they fall asleep from sheer comfort. Most creatures have a natural need for sleep, and are generally only able to do so when they are completely relaxed, or otherwise too tired to do anything else. The grass whistle technique takes full advantage of the former in this execution. By playing a soft relaxing tone with a leaf or blade of grass, Pokémon using a grass whistle technique can effectively relax their opponents so much that they become drowsy and actually fall asleep. This makes the move almost identical to the sing technique, other than the fact that it can only be learned by grass-type Pokémon, and can thus be seen as the sing technique's floral equivalent. Much as with the supersonic technique, however, most creatures able to hear the sound will be unlikely to experience its full effects if they are brimming with energy and exceptionally agitated. If this is not the case, however, the chances of them falling asleep from the move are quite real. Sleep alone is a fairly deadly status condition for its ability to incapacitate most creatures until it wears off, so the technique's applications in combat are genuine. Sadly, the fact that it barely works more than half the time can make it little else other than a wild card, but even so, its immediate effects are something that even veteran trainers need to be careful about. Pokémon that are mobile enough to get out of the move's effective range, as well as moves, items, and abilities that either cure or prevent sleep, and the soundproof ability, are highly recommended for countering the grass whistle technique. Otherwise, the only thing that can really be done is to wait for the status condition to wear off.
That's it for this episode, so stay tuned for the next episode of TM Technical Movement. Thank you all for watching this video. It always brings me great joy to see others enjoying the work I do to try and make the world of Pokemon and the fascinating creatures that lay inside of it feel as real as they possibly can. If you really enjoy my work, please feel free to leave a comment and subscribe, as I always do my best to respond to any and all comments that are left on my videos. In addition, if you wish to learn more about my work and help support it, you can find links to my Patreon page, as well as email and other contact information to my work on DeviantArt in the video description down below. Furthermore, you can find a link to my Discord server there as well if you'd like to get a first glimpse at what videos are coming up next and converse with other fans of the world of Pokemon. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and have a wonderful rest of your day.